Hi, this is Trevor, and welcome back to our weekly tarot card video. Once again, I'm coming to you from my cozy little reading studio here at 161 Stafford Street in Winnipeg. And if you're interested in my work or how to book an appointment with me and other various things, as well as links to my Facebook page and a lot of other stuff, I encourage you to check out my website at trevorsense.com. And that link is always included along with the information section of this video. That's also where you'll find, in a table of contents order, all of the existing tarot videos as we've been working through the deck. It's getting to be a smaller pile. I think we've got about another 30 weeks to go, and it's been a lot of fun, and I really value the feedback that I've been getting. It's a rainy day today, and when I was a kid, my mom and my aunts used to read for each other on a rainy day, especially when we were at the lake. It was sort of a family tradition, and they'd read each other's tea leaves and get a little spooky. And my dad would be sitting in the corner going, "Yeah, even a stopped clock is right twice a day." So in my family, there was a respect for reading, as well as a sense of taking it with a grain of salt, and even a little bit of a sense of humor. I think that's important. I was encouraged to work with my intuition, but to also balance that with a degree of critical thinking. So that's just a little bit about that, and let's get into our card of the week. All right. The Five of Wands. All right. Now, you've heard me say before that I like to look at what the numbers have in common, and then let's also look at the positions in a very traditional layout of the cards called the Celtic Cross. Now, position 4 is kind of a foundation. It's like you could think of the four sides of a square or a kind of plateau that things would be on. And then fives are oftentimes like a breakthrough of realization. They're that point in the Celtic Cross where we oftentimes have some new insight that's coming in. It's kind of the interaction with what lies before us. And fives in the traditional Rider-Waite deck oftentimes show a sense of some disruption. That plateau in fours is not where we're meant to stay. It kind of is that foundation, but there has to be building beyond that. You know, think of a plant growing in a little clay pot. It supports that growth. It needs to have that boundary, that sense of structure. But if it doesn't give way, eventually it's going to choke that growth. So fives are kind of a sense of some breakthrough that's going on. And they can have to do with a sense of some disruption. We certainly see that in the Five of Wands. But is this really a battle that's going on? No one's hitting each other. It's not the same as the Five of Swords, where there has been a conflict and there has been, a sense of some trauma. This is more like being at that staff meeting where nobody's shutting up and listening to one another. And there's a sense of friction that's taking place. And I use that word because let's remember with wands, the element is fire. So there's sparks. There's this sense of, just like things kind of rubbing together and creating some tension. Now, conflict does run through the fives. But if you've ever been to a conflict resolution workshop, very, kind of popular approach these days, you'll understand that conflict is an important and constructive part of what needs to go on. And there can be such a thing as healthy conflict. So in the Five of Wands, it's like who's chairing the meeting? It may be that these people are all sharing the same intent. Sometimes I like to think of it that maybe they need to lay down the sticks and build something, but nobody's really sure who has to go first. So sometimes it's a situation where there's not clear leadership. And what happens is people start to get comparative and competitive. They start looking at how they're feeling and comparing that to how others appear. So it can be a learning experience. Sometimes we think of spiritual growth as going off on a retreat. But if you want to see what you got to work on, get on a committee because you're going to see some of those frictions, those things that irk us a little bit. And this is an opportunity to be kind of looking at and seeing where there is that comparative and competitive energy. And then we can ask ourselves, is that what is appropriate here? Is that what's necessary? And we move through these little set twos, and they are growth experiences. So that's just some random thoughts around the Five of Wands. A card of friction, a card of some challenge, and really sometimes we have to stop before we engage in battle and check out the prizes. Is it worth it? Anyway, looking forward to sharing more with you, and tune in the weeks ahead as we continue to carry through the deck. And I think there's some interesting things that I'm looking at developing beyond this. Actually, I've been encouraged lately to get back into some writing. And you'll find lots of articles that I've written also on the blog at trevorsense.com. Thanks for tuning in, and hope everybody's having a great weekend. It's a long weekend here in Winnipeg, and my schedule can vary. It can be very changeable. I do have some openings coming up in the next few days. If you call ahead, I can try and arrange a time that's convenient for you. Take care, and have a great day. Bye for now.